So are you interested in getting started with investing in apartment buildings, but you're not sure how or where to get started? Or maybe worse, you don't believe you can do it, right? How in the world are you going to buy a $5 million apartment building without previous real estate investing experience or a bunch of money in your pocket? So in today's video, I'm going to dispel this myth that you can't do this. And I'm going to give you 3 real, applicable, actionable steps that anyone, and that includes you can take to begin the career in apartment investing. My name is Michael Blank, and I help people just like you become financially free through real estate. I remember when I got started with real estate investing, I had flipped a bunch of houses, and one of the wholesalers that brought a deal that used to get my single family house for flips, he actually brought me a 12 unit in DC. And I remember going over there and driving up and looking at this building, and it was this 3-story building, brick, and I was completely overwhelmed by the idea of buying this. Even though I'd already bought like 20 single family houses, just the idea of buying something that big really stressed me out a lot. And I find in talking to people that the biggest problem really is that they can't believe that they can do that. And I really think that, people's own comfort zone ends wherever their experience ends as well. The other thing also is, and you probably read Rich Dad Poor Dad, as did I, and so he puts a seed in your brain about this passive investing thing, and he uses words like real estate and cash flow business, but he doesn't really tell you how to do it. And so the reader is left to their own devices. So in my case, I was like, well, surely he meant flipping houses, that's real estate, or I'll build up a rental portfolio, that's real estate, or I'll buy some laundromat, that's cash flow business. But he doesn't really say what it is. And so it's very confusing. And so when I come to you, and I've done all these things, and I'm literally at the crash test dummy of financial freedom. I've done software, I've done restaurants, I've negotiated short sales, I've flipped houses, I've held houses, and none of those things actually really led to financial freedom. And the one thing that did was apartment buildings. And so I kind of got into this accidentally through this 12 unit I just talked about. And I didn't, though, having done that deal, I didn't think I could do it again. I kind of felt like I got lucky. I got it from a wholesaler, and that was an accident. It shouldn't have been on the MLS. And I looked into it a little bit, and I was just like, man, I don't think I can turn this into a strategy. I don't have the access to capital to buy these things. I don't have the experience to talk to brokers, commercial brokers. Now, this was a residential broker I was listed with. And so I really couldn't believe that I could do that. And I think fundamentally that's the problem with people who want to get started. They really can't believe they can do it. And I want to solve that in this video. What if 4 videos could give you everything you need to build $10,000 a month in passive income in as little as 180 days? I've proven it many times over, and so have hundreds of other people just like you. And one of the best ways we discovered to reach financial freedom is by investing in apartments. Now, I know that sounds like super advanced, but the truth is you can get started today. You don't need years of investing experience. You don't have to have millions of dollars in the bank. So register for the free Masterclass Apartments 101 today and take that first step to really discover how you can build true wealth for yourself and your family. Let's do this. Now, it's important that you start believing you can do this, right? Because if you don't believe, think about it. If you don't believe you can do something, why would you take any action towards that something, that goal, right? If you don't feel like you can ever lose 50 pounds, why would you ever exercise or go on a diet, right? Same thing. If you want financial freedom with real estate, but you don't believe you can actually buy an apartment building, why would you do anything? You might make some excuses. You might read books and podcasts and go to meetups and analyze deals, but you're never actually going to make offers because you don't believe you can do it. And so this really holds you back. And I know it holds me back when I can't believe I can do something. And what I find is sometimes I'll meet someone and they have much higher degree of confidence in me than I do in myself. I remember when I got started in restaurants, and I don't have, because I didn't have Eat Tracker in restaurants, and this was the thing, and he goes, you know what? It's actually easy. Now, he had like 30 restaurants, right? So it was easy for him. It's easy. I'll help you. I'll even help you raise the money. And when he said it was easy, you can do this, I was like, maybe I can do that. And it's the same thing here. So let's try to fix that belief, because if we can fix that belief, it opens up a whole new world. Okay, so how do we develop belief? Okay, there's 3 things you can do to develop the belief. Number 1 is you can educate yourself. Because once you learn things, knowledge, it dispels a lot of the mystery. Oh my gosh, how do I analyze deals? Oh my gosh, how do I raise money? Oh my gosh, what happens if someone accepts my offer? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. What happens after I close? And you will discover, once you educate yourself, and it dispels this myth that it's not a cliff into the great abyss in the unknown where you will, bad things happen, but no, it opens up a whole new world, and that's not so bad, and so forth. So educating yourself is critical because it dispels the mystery. Also, through knowledge, you build belief. Through developing skills through that knowledge, you build not only belief, but now you build confidence. And this really affects the way that you do anything in life, but for example, how you speak to brokers or how you speak to investors. So the first one is you got to invest in yourself. And yes, there's a lot of things you can do. You can educate yourself online. Listen to all of our podcasts, be on the YouTube channel like this. You can even read my book and other people's books. And at one point though, and you can use all that stuff, and you should, to build belief. And that might help a lot. At one point, you may have to invest in your education to really kind of get rid of that other belief system where you can't do things because you don't know some of the technicalities. So educating yourself is basically tip number one to kind of dispel the belief that you can't do something. Tip number two is really to expand your comfort zone. I have this quote here. It really says, greatness begins where your comfort zone ends. Okay, so do you want greatness? Then you got to be just beyond your comfort zone. Now, the comfort zone, inside your comfort zone, there's no growth. Okay. Then there's the outside your comfort zone where you experience growth, and then there's the panic zone, which is far outside your comfort zone. So you want to stay out of your comfort zone, and you want to stay out of the panic zone. You want to be right outside the comfort zone. If you can become comfortable living just outside your comfort zone, your growth will never end, and you will surely experience what greatness is. And so how do you do that? And there's some very powerful ways that you can do that. And the thing is, you want to be gradual about this. You don't like it. You want to stay out of the panic zone. So you start reading some books and watching videos that's fairly comfortable. My gosh, maybe you'll even go to a real estate event and you're like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy and you're uncomfortable. That's great. That's awesome. I found other ways that you can expand your comfort zone is actually meeting with more experienced investors. Because once you're around these people and they talk about these uncomfortable things, your comfort zone starts to expand. Another thing that I've personal experience with is why don't you tour a larger apartment building, right? If your comfort zone doesn't exceed a duplex, then go call on a broker and tour a 10 unit. And I will guarantee you when you're done with that tour, your comfort zone will now be 4 or 5 units. Now repeat that for a 20 unit, all of a sudden your comfort zone will be a 10 unit. It's powerful, and you don't need years of investing to do that. You just have to find ways where you can be around experienced investors and then maybe tour some larger properties and continue to look to expand your comfort zone and live just outside that comfort zone. Tip number 3 is super simple about really moving forward past your beliefs, and that is do the next 3 things. I love this thing because everyone knows what the next 3 things are with anything. Now, you might not know what the 67th step of 123 is, okay? And just the idea of, I'm going to buy this apartment building, and I can't even fathom the steps I need to take to do that, okay? Here's my suggestion. Don't worry about it. You know what the next 3 things are. Write them down. What are the next 3 things in your situation? It could be to read that first book or to start listening to the podcast. But it could be, if you've been doing this for a while, it might actually be to start analyzing deals. Or if you've been doing that for a while, it might actually be to submit your first LOI. What is that next 3 things that you got to do? Write them down right now and give yourself a week to knock out all 3 of them. No longer. I want things on a weekly basis. Cross them off. Write down the next 3 things because, again, your horizon moves with you. And you do that for about 3 months of just the next 3 things without thinking too much about it. You are going to be amazed at how much you've done. And what happens, I don't need a huge belief to do the next 3 things because I already know I can do the next 3 things. Now, I may not believe I can do the 67th thing, but I can certainly do the next 3 things. So this is a great way to overcome that. You don't need belief, and it starts building momentum and confidence. So the last tip is to overcome your limiting beliefs is to just do the next 3 things. So if you're new to apartment building investing, maybe you're not 100% convinced it's for you, you have some limiting beliefs like we all do, especially about apartments, my suggestion is watch my free course. I created a free course for people just like you. It's called Apartments 101, and it's at apartments101.co. And just go there. It's free 4 videos that are completely free, and just watch it. I address how you can overcome your lack of experience, how to raise capital, actually the mechanics of doing a deal and raising capital. All the things you're probably wondering about right now are in that course. So see you inside and catch you next time.